Hello, and welcome to Microsoft Excel 2010 Training for Chapter 1. We're already in MyITLab, and I've opened up Excel Chapter 1 Training, and here is the first skill. Start Microsoft Excel 2010. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One is by going down to the Start button and clicking on the Excel icon. Another is by coming up to the Excel icon on your computer screen and double-clicking. Now we can see our Excel spreadsheet. Let's look at a couple of different things on here. We have the ribbon, just like we had in Word. We have our different areas, our clipboard, font, alignment. A lot of these things work just the same way they did with Word. Here is our font where you can make it bold or change the size. And there's a couple of new things too. Here's number. You can change how your numbers look in Excel, or your cell styles. How do they actually look? We've got our cells format, insert or delete cells here, and again our editing, which works the same way as it did with that Word with the find and replace. We also have our insert tab, our page layout tab. The formulas tab is new. If we look there, we can see formulas, which are mathematical equations. You can use Excel to add, subtract, multiply, divide, and do all sorts of mathematical things. That's what makes it so powerful. Down here in our box we have our name box here, which is where we can see our active cell is A1. It's the address of the cell. It's always the column letter first, followed by the row number. If we want to go to a different cell, we can just type it in here. Say I want to go to G32. You can just click up here and type in G32, enter, and it moves the active cell to G32. The active cell has the black line around it. If I want to go back to the home, the very first cell, I'm going to hit Control Home, and that's going to take our active cell back up to A1. Right next to our name box, we see our formula bar. This will show where we put information in when we enter it into the cell. Each spreadsheet opens up with 3 worksheets. So you can see down here at the bottom the tabs, Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and Sheet 3. Now our next step here is to save a copy of our blank workbook in the My Documents folder is 1A _ quarterly _ cells. Saving and printing goes to the same place as we did in Word. Up here on our File button, we're going to click on File, and we can go to Save. Make sure we're in our Documents library, and we're going to type in 1A _ quarterly _ cells, and then click Save. Now we have the 3 worksheets. If we want to go between worksheets, we just click on the tab. So if we want to go to Worksheet 2, we're going to click on Sheet 2. We need to go to cell A10. We can either type that up here in the name box, or we can take our mouse and click in cell A10. We're going to type in Go. And this one you need to remember it's capital G, capital O, and an exclamation point. We're going to press Enter. You haven't actually entered information into a cell until you hit the Enter key or the Tab key to move it over. So now we've entered Go into cell A10. When we hit Enter, it moved our active cell down to the cell below it, or A11. If we want to undo our last action up here on our Quick Access toolbar, we can just click our Undo, or we can use the keyboard shortcut Control Z. Now we've moved back to Sheet 1. We know that's active because that's the sheet, the tab that is highlighted here. We're going to enter Texas Spectrum Wireless in cell A1. So cell A1 is our active cell. We're going to enter Texas. Whoops. Got key happy here. Let me hit the reset button. In A1, we're going to hit Texas Spectrum Wireless. Now again, we haven't entered the information into our cell until we either hit the Enter key, the Tab key, or here on our function bar we have an Enter check mark. Now the Enter check mark, when we click on that, our active cell will remain in the same cell, A1. If we would have hit the Enter key, our active cell would have moved down to cell A2. Now we want to go to cell A2, and we're going to enter in first quarter accessory cells. I hit the Enter key, you can see my active cell now goes down to A3, but we want to go down to cell A4 and enter headsets. Now in A5, we're supposed to type in H. When we type in H, we can see Excel intuitively says, oh, do you want to enter headsets? And you're like, no, don't want to enter headsets. So what you need to do is just keep typing in whatever it is that you're wanting to type in. In this case, it's the remaining to the word holsters. That is just a shortcut that Excel uses. Now in B3, and click up here, we're supposed to enter January and maintain B3 as the active cell. So we need to click on the check mark. So I'm going to type in January, and you'll notice up here, since I've typed information in, I have my check mark. So I'm going to hit that check mark, and that's going to maintain B3 as my active cell. Now if you look around on your active cell, you'll see in the lower right corner there is a square black box. And if you move your mouse over it, you'll notice that your mouse changes to a little crosshair. That little black box is called a fill handle. And when you have your little crosshair on there, then you can use that to copy. So if we make our mouse look like that little crosshair, I'm going to hold down, click with my left mouse and hold down, and then I'm going to drag over to D3. And I've now copied that information, but you'll notice that it's now January, February, March. I didn't type in February, March. It automatically copied over using what is known as the autofill function in Excel. It's just a way that you can increase your time you're working in your spreadsheets and make it more accurate. You can do that with January, February, March, the months of the year, the dates, the day of the week. You can do it with numbers, you can do it with time. It will automatically fill in based on your range and what you've chosen to copy over. So instead of copying, we've just used our autofill option.